Tracy, and I am here with another fun tutorial Thursday where I'm going to share with you a fun card. And today the theme is What's Shakin' Bacon? What's Shakin' is a fun Party Piggy shaker card that we're going to create. So let's get started. So today our stamp set is one of my fun favorites. It's an online exclusive in my online store, and it's called Party Piggy. Isn't that just the funnest name? Party Piggy. I love the sentiment. They're kind of like puns, right? I am so proud of you. Let's party. Happy birthday to you, which is what we use today. And what's shakin' bacon? Isn't that cute? And the dies coordinate with each of those. So they're cut out the head and the body. They cut out the party hat and the little party flags. And there is this circle which will create for us the part to do our fun shaker card. So let me show you the card. We've got happy birthday. Isn't our piggy just adorable? And then it fun fold opens. So it's kind of a flat base, and then this fun fold open to show our card. So let me show you a couple of the featured products. I'm using the DSP from Wildflower Birthday. Wildflower Birthday. So it's got all of these beautiful kind of pastel-y birthday themed. There's gold foil throughout. Lots of fun of our subtle line colors, and it's just gorgeous. And so you can see there's a couple of pieces that are like this, which have these printed tags you can fussy cut out. You can also use the back of the DSP as well. We're going to use one of these. And then there is also this fun page here with all of these laser die cuts. So I kept one together, and then I have just a little envelope, a clear envelope inside of my DSP pack here with one of these that are already all punched out. So you can, we're going to use this cupcake here, but you can use any one of these. They're already done for you, already colored, and comes in the pack. How lovely is that, right? So as always, I will have a free printable PDF tutorial for you. I send that first to my online Buzz Bulletin email subscribers, so you want to make sure you're on my list. If you go to my website at stampinqueenbee.com, you can find the sign up for that. I want you all to be on there. You get specials, you get deals, you get my printable free tutorial each week. And then if you make a purchase this week before, so today is Thursday, and before my next video, next Thursday, so you have 1 week, you will actually get all the parts and pieces to this in a card kit to make 3 of these cards when you place your $50 or more order with me. I call it freebie from me, and you get the parts and pieces, kind of a free with purchase card class for you, including the printed tutorial. So you want to get that, you can just shop in my online store, $50 or more, and you will get the parts and pieces to make today's card. So let's get started with our base here. I'm going to move that one out of the way. I've got my pieces here. And so we are featuring Blueberry Bushel, and you will need 2 pieces. Well, 1 piece will do it, but 2 cut pieces. And remember, all the supply lists, the measurements, all of that is going to be on that free tutorial that I will email out to my subscribers today. So we have our first piece. This is just a flat card base size. So that's going to be piece number 1. We're going to pull in some of that DSP. So we've got this fun piece. Aren't those cakes just beautiful? I love that gold foiling. So we're going to layer that on first. So let me grab my liquid adhesive here. Even the back is cute, right? So we'll just go ahead and add that right to our base piece. Just center that on, give it a little back rub, and we're good. Now this piece is a kind of our mini card opening that we're going to put right here on the front. So this piece, we're just going to fold it in half and go ahead and burnish that with our bone folder. And then we're just going to add this piece right to the center here. So this fun fold is easy and quick. I like easy, quick fun folds, right? They're wowy, but they're also simple and fast, right? Okay, so we've got that. That's our card opening layer there. I've got a couple other pieces we're gonna put in. So we've got a designer piece, another piece from that paper pack. Isn't that beautiful? We're gonna use this piece here. I love that checkerboard with our Piggy, right? Or plaid check, right? Okay, little back rub there. We've got that piece, and then I've got just another basic white piece layer that we're gonna put on the inside. This is where you'll be able to write your message, and we'll go ahead and put that right there. So now you have kind of the mechanics, the basics of our card today. Let's do some stamping next. So we'll put that to the side. We're going to grab some bubble bath, and we are going to stamp our Piggy using smoky slate. So you could use tuxedo black, you could use the bubble bath. I tried it in many combinations, and I loved the smoky slate the best because what I found was it was not as harsh of lines as our black, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and stamp our Piggy face and our Piggy's body. And there we have those two. So next I would use my dies. And I'm going to give you a couple of tips here. So tip number one is when you're cutting out the body, you're going to cut out the body first by itself, and you will get this piece here. So we've got the Piggy body, and you will die cut out the Piggy's face. So there we've got our Piggy face, okay? And then we're gonna want to do our circle in the middle of our Piggy. Now, this is my Tracy tip. If you do this all together and run that through your die cut, our shaker element, which is using these fun domes, so these domes are called small circle shaker domes. They come in a box like this. You get 12 of them, and this is what one looks like. So this is our dome. If you die cut the circle and the outline at the same time, it becomes a little bit warped when you try to put your dome in. So to remedy that, if you die cut just the body first and then run it through again with the circle on the already die cut Piggy, then you will get a totally flat Piggy, which is what you want to be able to put our dome in. So that's what you'll do. Die cut this body first, then run it through again with the circle, and you will get a flat Piggy body. Okay, so now we have those pieces. We've got our Piggy's face and our Piggy's body. We're gonna do one more stamping right now for our sentiment. So we're gonna grab a piece of basic white here. We'll put our Piggy there. Just a piece of basic white. I'm gonna grab a blueberry bushel, and my happy birthday to you sentiment. And so we're just gonna stamp that. There we go. How fun is that? Let me close these inks up so that I don't accidentally, do you ever do that? Accidentally smush into them? Oh, I do that, and then I have ink everywhere, right? Okay, so then I'm gonna take my sentiment here and I'm gonna fussy cut it out. And actually I'm going to fussy cut it out with my paper snip scissors, and I'm gonna fussy cut it out, but I'm also going to separate it. So I wanted to show you because I want to use both of these pieces separately. So with my paper snip fussy cut, you can just cut those right out, and it's an easy cutout. So we're going to use those two pieces. And then remember I told you we had these pieces of our DSP. So they are already laser cut for us, already colored, and already ready for us to just punch out. So in my DSP pack here, I keep one of our clear envelopes. We sell these, the pack of clear medium envelopes. You can give your cards in those. But I already punched out those pieces, and so we could use any of those, but today I'm going to use our cute cupcake because I think that goes real well with happy birthday, right? And then we have this other piece, which looks like this, and it's got all of these great tags. You can make birthday tags with those. These make great card fronts and sentiment labels, all kinds of things. We're going to use this piece here, and so I left this one whole so that I could show you on my trimmer how I am using this piece. So I'm going to push this up so you can see the bottom of my trimmer, and we're just going to line this line up right with the track, and we're just going to cut that piece. This is the piece that we're going to use. And so I'm going to then line my trimmer up with 2 3/4 with this line that I already cut here. So I'm putting that on 2 3/4 because we're not going to use this entire piece, but I just need this part of it. So for this one, I'm just going to come back down here, and I'm going to go up at 2 3/4 on that piece so that I have this piece here is what I want, right? And then we're just going to go ahead and trim. Now you can use your trimmer for that, or you can use your snips. So let me just show you with our snips, and see, you can just go right along this line here. You can use your trimmer too, but sometimes, you know, good old paper snips work great. So now we have this piece, which is, you know, a smaller version of that piece that was on this tag. That's the back of it right there. Pretty piece, right? And so now, look, I trimmed it not the right size, but we're gonna trim this again. So let me grab my trimmer. Must have had my measurement wrong there. So we're actually gonna go, oh no, I had my measurement right. I just measured it wrong. Well, there you have it, right? We all make measurement errors. At least it was too big and not too small, right? Okay, so now we're gonna put this piece right on the front. So it's gonna look like, you'll see, it's gonna look like our Piggy is kind of holding some balloons behind them, right? So that is what we're going to use this piece for, right on the front. And we'll just go ahead and we're going to center this more on the top line because we're going to cover up this piece here. Give that a little back rub. Okay, and then let's do our inside here. So first we're going to need our little cupcake here. Remember, it's already laser die cut for us. So all we have to do is add our adhesive, and I'm just gonna stick this right at the bottom here of our inside piece. And then remember, we fussy cut our sentiment into 2. So we've got happy birthday and to you. So the to you is gonna go on the inside with just a little adhesive there. So we'll just kind of center that up at the top. And then our inside of our card is done. So we've got we've got to you so far. To you with our cute cupcake. And then that's the front so far. So we'll save our happy birthday over here for a minute. And now let's work on our Piggy, our party Piggy. Let's make them into a cute shaker, right? So we've got our take your pick tool. We've got one of those small circle domes. So there is already, this is why I love these. I call this like an easy shaker because Stampin' Up! Has already done the hard work of a shaker card for us, because the hard work of a shaker card is adding all the adhesive around a piece, putting a window sheet, making sure the foam is on there and all of that. They have done that for us in these domes. So what we're first gonna do is we're gonna flip our Piggy body over and we're gonna stick our dome right through that belly, right? But there is already adhesive on this top part. So we're just gonna use our take your pick tool. And if I can see here, there we go. And we're just gonna peel this sticky off. So it shows the sticky part, right? And then we're going to push the belly through the Piggy. Push the belly through the Piggy. So he's got his belly there. And then what I like to do is just kind of lay it on your table and just kind of push that around to make sure that it is good and stuck. So the next step is to add our shaker bits. So I am using these loose shaker elements. Let me show you the back before I open them. But they're kind of like birthday themed, I think. Looks like confetti, right? With all the iridescent, the stars, and all of that. So let me take off the lid and try not to spill, but look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, so the trick with this is not to fill this all the way, right? And so sometimes I use like the end of my take your pick to just kind of push some of these bits in there. And we want it full, but we don't want it like over full, right? We'll just get those in there, those bits. Now you can see we've had a party, right? So then I just take whatever has fallen and I just kind of go to the end of my desk here, scoop those up and put them right back inside, right? Nobody wants to be left out of the party. See the star? And those. Okay. So then the next step is to cover this backing. And so I like to use some DSP for this. So I've already punched a few to kind of show you here. So this is that same DSP, and I used my 2-inch circle punch to just punch out some of that DSP, right? So then we'll just decide, I think this time I'm gonna use the fun plaid like we did on the inside, but you could use any of the patterns here. And we'll just peel off this backing. So now it's sticky. We'll take whichever piece we want to show through. So I want the plaid to show through, so we will just go ahead and put that stuck right to the back there. And I just like to kind of push that down, and look, we have a shaker belly. Isn't that easy? So I love that. So we're gonna take our body here, and we're going to use some liquid glue. And now we're just going to add that right to here. And we're going to stick our body right, kind of almost like the tail is with those balloons. His little feet and arms will stick off just a tiny bit. And I just like to hold this down for a second so we make sure this whole shaker element is good and stuck. So we're going to be opening this. See, you can see a little bit of the body hanging off. That's okay. And now we will go ahead and add some more of these pieces. So let me grab my Stampin' Dimensionals. So we're going to add our Piggy's head here to his body. Can't be headless, right? And then we'll just go ahead and peel those off. And we'll just go ahead and you can do it at an angle if you want. You know, he or she's a fun Piggy, right? And then that will open just like that. So before we add our sentiment and our embellishments here and our ribbon, we're gonna bring in our Stampin' Blend. So this is Bubble Bath, which is the same color that we used for our paper here. And we're just gonna highlight our little piggy a little bit. So I'm gonna take the light Bubble Bath, and I'm just gonna go ahead and highlight in the ears, the little spots, Piggy snout, the little hoofs, right? We're just adding just a little bit of, kind of highlighting a little bit of dimension to our little piggy guy here. And we'll take the dark and just kind of add a little bit more on the hoofs. There we go. And then again with the light, with the bullet end, I'm just gonna go on and give a little piggy highlighting kind of on the edge of the body here. So it just kind of gives it a little bit of depth to our piggy when we add just some of those little elements, right? All right, now for our happy birthday, I have put this one on with dimensions. So we'll just go ahead, and the end pieces here are great for these kind because they're a little bit skinnier. So you can use the end, this end, you know, of our dimensionals for that. Just peel the backings off there, and we're just gonna add our happy birthday right there at the bottom. Okay, so then I took some white baker's twine, and I already did this for us, and I just tied a double bow, just like you're tying your shoes. And I'm just gonna grab my mini glue dots here, fold that over so I have one mini glue dot showing. I'm gonna take my bow and stick it right to my mini glue dot. And then it makes it real easy to pull that off. And I put this bow in my piggy's left hand, so it looks like it's the bow, like he's holding those balloons that are behind him, or her. Okay, and then to finish off, of course, we need a little bit of bling. So I've got the iridescent faceted gems. I think the iridescent goes really well with the shaker iridescent. So I just use take your pick tool, and I'm just gonna add 3 of these. So 2 on kind of that top left, and then 1 here on that bottom right. And then our cute piggy shaker card, shake, 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 right, is complete. Isn't that cute? Wouldn't anyone love to get a piggy for their birthday? Well, I was having so much fun with these cute piggies that I just had to share with you. Look at the little farm that I made. So you can make these piggies. This is from that Bokeh Designer Series paper. And you can see here I used a different shaker bit. These are the Bokeh, the itty bitty Bokeh mix, and they have some blue, right? Some Azure Afternoon. They have some Berry Burst, some iridescent, all kinds of colors in those. So you'll see a few of those. You can color and add some, can you see that shimmer? You can add some Wink of Stella on there. You can have boy piggies, right? There are some, so this one I did, can you see all the sparkles on there? And this one I added the cute little banners into the piggy's hands. I just love these, so I was having all kinds of fun. I made so many of these. My team, the top 5 in my Happy Hive team, got some cute piggy tags because I think these shakers are just so cute. So cute. All right, well, let me come back and say hello and goodbye again. Thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing, joining my free email list, my Buzz Bulletin, where you get all of those step-by-step instructions, the PDF each week. And remember, when you spend $50 or more in my online store, this week you'll get the parts and pieces to make your own 3 of your own cute Piggy Party shaker cards. Have a great week, everyone, and I'll see you soon.